my lunch break from work. Trying to get these in however I can. Lunch break from work. Trying to get these in however I can. So, we finished off picking up these 3 quests from Altruius, who was a follower of Illidan but doesn't really have any allegiance to him. We're using him to help us learn about his plans. So he gave us a quest to kill a demon in Zangamarsh, gave us a quest to kill a demon in Shadowmoon, gave us a quest to kill a demon in Netherstorm. So we're gonna go to Zangamarsh first because it's so close. Then we'll probably go to Netherstorm and then back to Shadowmoon. We'll just go around. I feel like that's probably the best bet. I feel like questing in Zangamarsh was so long ago. And granted, it's been about a year, so it kind of was so long ago, but oh man. Okay, so here we go. Says to find the portal at the lake. Plant the spear. Kill Zaleth. Easy enough. Off to Netherstorm. The music's nice here, so I'll probably just chill for a minute. the long flight back down to Shadowmoon, I will go through the little history lesson that wow.gamepedia provides about the Black Temple. So it's gonna be a hot minute. To get all the way back down. I feel like we fly back and forth a lot in this expansion. Okay, so this is the avatar of Sithal. Obtain freshly drawn blood from a wrath priestess. Spill it on the ground and slay avatar Sithal. Okay. Okay. Spill it on the ground. Kill Sithal. Alright. Then we need to go straight south. To go kill Lothros. Alright, so while we're making that long flight, here we go. I mentioned in my last video the Black Temple was previously known as the Temple of Karaport before it fell. Control of the Black Temple has changed hands very many times over the last however many years. But here is its history. Before the shattering of Draenor, the Black Temple was once called the Temple of Karaport, a sacred site to the Draenei, which served as the refuge of the prophet Velen. Shortly after the formation of the Horde, Gul'dan ordered the temple conquered. Upon discovering the Burning Legion had been manipulating the orcs, the Draenei leaders knew they could no longer defend their holdings and ordered their forces to withdraw to Shattrath City and Karaport. A lot of this is reiterations of things I've explained in previous videos, but always good to review. During the ensuing battle, the Draenei were helped by the Arakoa, such as Grizzak, and against all odds, the outnumbered defenders were able to push the relentless orcs back. In response, Gul'dan and the Shadow Council decided to ignore the Shadowmoon clan's warnings about the Dark Star, an ancient god of the void that was actually the fallen Naru Kara. They conducted a ritual to call on the Dark Star in the war against the Draenei and channeled it at Karaport. A pillar of void energy ripped through the heavens and slammed down on Karaport, driving many Draenei defenders to madness while others died instantly. Velen called on his powers to keep the void at bay and rallied the survivors to Karaport's harbor. But the Dark Star had forever darkened Karaport, and it became known as the Black Temple and was taken by the orcs. After their defeat, the captured Draenei clerics of Karaport were marched out, told that they were to be taken to the Hellfire Citadel as prisoners of war. The warlock Tarangor murdered each and every last one of them in cold blood outside the walls. And that's the guy that we've released on accident in Shadowmoon. Whoops. At some point, the orc Yarg Bloodfire came here and obtained the blood of Manaroth. During the invasion of Draenor, it was used as a fortress by Ner'zhul and his Shadowmoon clan forces. After the planet's destruction and its transformation into Outland, the Black Temple was taken over by the Burning Legion. It was used as a prime staging ground for the Burning Legion's campaign of destruction. When Illidan the Betrayer fled to Outland after the Third Floor, he ousted the temple's ruler, the Pit Lord Magtheridon, and claimed his throne as Lord of the Blasted World. Following his defeat at the hands of Arthas Menethil, Illidan returned to the Black Temple, where he resides to this day. Sorry, I was just making sure I wasn't saying things that we hadn't gotten to yet. But this is not. Neither his activities or mental state are known at this time. While Malfurion has stated that Illidan has become mad and delusional, believing that he killed Arthas and accomplished the mission Kil'jaeden had sent him on, lore from Burning Crusade says that Illidan lives in fear that he will be discovered by his powerful enemies, most notably Arthas, the new Lich King, and the remaining lords of the Burning Legion. Despite the bitter retribution of his enemies, Illidan has begun to tighten his grip on Outland from within the profane sanctum, where he awaits any and all who would challenge his rule. The Black Temple was besieged once by the Shadar forces of High General Aurelian, but these Draenei were destroyed by Valzarek, the Conqueror of the Crimson Sigil, and their leader captured. Sometimes later, the Burning Legion unleashed the Fel Reaver Doomwalker on the temple. Later, another army combining the forces of the Scryers and the Aldor attacked again, this time helped by the Illidari rebel Akama and Maeve Shadowsong, former prisoner of the Betrayer. And I believe that's just about to happen. That's going to be the end of this whole expansion. So, spoilers, sorry. I don't really think it's spoilers at this point, but... there you go. We need to make hard left here. And dip down into Shadowmoon. And kill Lothros. I only see the switch here right now. Oh, there he is.
I'm out of range.
Okay, here we go. Now the long flight back to Western Nagrand. I don't really have any more history lessons to give right now, but I'll see if I can find something. Okay. I could talk about Gul'dan. So I suppose we'll go ahead and do that. That's a lot, but because we keep hearing about Gul'dan and the Shadow Council, obviously. The Shadow Council is a group of mortal warlocks that serve the demons of the Burning Legion. It was created by Gul'dan. Just make sure I'm going in the right direction here. When Gul'dan supplanted Ner'zhul as Kil'jaeden's favorite pawn, and Ner'zhul was the chieftain of an elder shaman of the Shadowmoon clan. We've been through his thing before. But when Gul'dan took over as Kil'jaeden's favorite pawn from Ner'zhul, he began to reorganize the clans into a single engine of destruction. To this end, he promoted a public figurehead, Blackhand of the Blackrock clan, to the new position of war chief. Though Blackhand was cunning, he lacked the loyalty Kil'jaeden needed and the deviousness needed to drive the horde. Thus, Gul'dan secretly brought together a collection of warlocks, necrolytes, chieftains, and even the occasional ogre into the clandestine council, the Shadow Council. The original purpose of the council was to ensure the stability of the horde in their quest to destroy the Draenei, manipulate the clans, and spread use of warlocks' magic. When the time came, the Shadow Council fed the blood of Manaroth to the clans, apart from the Frostwolf clan, whose chieftain Duratan forbade them from partaking, and a few other individuals. The council made their headquarters at the Black Temple and oversaw the destruction of the Draenei until Kil'jaeden mysteriously vanished. Boop. Okay, let's get these turned in real quick and then we can keep going. Alright, so we killed each of the people he asked us to. No, he said, "You've proven your allegiance. You must forgive my caution, but in this world things are not what they appear. I will tell you about Veretis when you're ready." So we'll listen to his story. As a reward for his years of service, Illidan allowed Kael'thas to send him 5 warriors to train under him. It would be the first time Blood Elves would be allowed to train as demon hunters. The training was brutal. Illidan put Kael's warriors through trials that would defeat most fully capable demon hunters. 3 of Kael's elves died in training. Another went mad. 1 succeeded. Veretis was his name. To Illidan's surprise, not only did he succeed in the excruciating rites of passage that are a part of the training, Veretis was already displaying better command over his powers than many veteran demon hunters. Illidan sensed the potential in Veretis and assigned 3 master demon hunters to train him further in their ways. Within a year of training under Illidan's best 3 demon hunters, Veretis had surpassed them. No longer content with the training they had to offer, Veretis infiltrated the Shadow Council, where he learned of a powerful relic known as the Book of Fell Names. He secretly read from this book, committing each passage to memory. Knowledge of a demon's true name is rumored to give a certain amount of power over that demon. The Book of Fell Names is said to contain the true name of every demon ever to have existed. By memorizing the passages in the book, Veridus had found a source of power to rival Illidan's own drinking from the skull of Gul'dan. At Illidan's request, Veridus now runs the training grounds at the ruins of Karaport, along with 3 masters that mentored him. It's not surprising that a Blood Elf's potential for power as a demon hunter is so high. After all, the Sindarai do not have a natural aversion to demonic magic that Night Elves do. However, I do not expect many to succeed. Most of them, Veridus included, pursue power for its own sake. That power will consume them, for they are not driven by the pure fire that burns inside a true demon hunter's heart. Only one thing remains to be done. I sympathize with your intentions of stopping Veridus and his followers, but you won't stand a chance against him. That is, unless you find the artifact that gave him his power. The Book of Fell Names is rumored to be in the possession of Blackheart the Insider inside the Shadow Labyrinth in Auchindoun. Obtaining it will be your only hope against Veridus. OMG. So sick of running these dungeons. Oh, Lord Almighty. Alright. East. Terracar. Here we go. Alright. Back to the Shadow Council. So the council made their headquarters at Black Temple and oversaw the destruction of the Draenei until Kil'jaeden mysteriously vanished. As the Horde began to fragment, the Shadow Council was contacted by Medivh, who offered a new world to plunder. To test the potential of the daggers, Anguish and Sorrow, Gul'dan gave them to his assassin Garona Halforsen and ordered her to use them against an unfortunate Shadow Council acolyte. The acolyte had no chance to defend himself before she tore open his throat with one slash. When the orc took his last breath, the wound that killed him became irregular. No one would be able to tell whether he had died to a knife, an axe, or a spear. Gul'dan saw the possibilities immediately. A mysterious death could be used to sow confusion and redirect suspicion wherever he pleased. The Shadow Council operated a number of the Horde's workings during the war effort against the Kingdom of Stormwind, but their time was near. Following the death of Medivh, Gul'dan was incapacitated for several weeks. During this time, Ogrim Doomhammer killed Blackhand the Destroyer and seized the mantle of War Chief. King Lane Rin was assassinated by one of the Shadow Council's finest killers, Garona. Ogrim captured and tortured Garona to learn of the location of the Shadow Council on the run. One second. Okay. Ogrim captured and tortured Garona to learn the location of the Shadow Council on the run, and sensing it threatened his position, launched an attack on Gul'dan's citadel near the ruins of Azeroth, annihilating most of the warlocks of the council. Their spirits were subsequently imbued into Death Knights, while the magical energies of other long-dead warlocks were infused into the bodies of the Ogre Magi. Even in the aftermath of the second invasion of the Burning Legion, which is kind of what we're dealing with now, the Shadow Council still remains. It is not clear how the Council was reformed after the death of most of their members, including Gul'dan. The current Shadow Council now includes members of all races, provided they possess the ideology of acceptance and the tenets of the Burning Legion. The Shadow Council has set up its main base in Shadowhold and Felwood. There they reign with massive force and numbers. The Burning Blade is active in Desolace, the Barrens, and Duratar, and There's even a spy in Ogremar, where the Searing Blade dwells beneath the Orcish capital in the Ragefire Chasm. The Cult of the Darkstrand operates in Darkshore and Ashen Vale, and the mysterious Argus Wake manipulates the Syndicate in Alterac and Arathi Highlands. It is known that some of its members, including Vorpal and Blackheart, survived by hiding in Auchindoun. The Cabal acts from within Auchindoun, but members of the Shadow Council are widespread and all over Outland. During the opening of the Dark Portal, members of the original council can be seen. So, that's a little briefing on the Shadow Council. We're about to go into Shadow Labs again. And on the way back, I can give more background on Gul'dan specifically, since he's a big player in this expansion and in other expansions moving forward. I need to get it from Blackheart the Insider, right? Yeah, Blackheart the Insider. Alright. 1 second, I will start this. Okay, let's run through here real quick. Again, I'm not gonna, try and really kill anything if I don't have to. For the sake of time. I have about 20 minutes left before I need to go back to work. Well, honestly, I feel like we got quite a bit done. Oh yeah, and all these people are gonna come for me as soon as I kill him. I don't know what of all of this it'll let me take.
I can't carry anymore. Inventory is full.
Because...
It's not ready yet. I can't carry anymore.
Don't need those.
Inventory is full.
Oh, fuck. There we go. I'll just sell some stuff when I get out. Or sell all of it, really. I'm surprised that actually didn't aggro onto me, but I'm not mad about it. Okay. Back to Nagrand, right? Yes, okay. West. Alright. So, Gul'dan. Gul'dan was the first Orcish warlock as well as the de facto founder of the Horde. He betrayed both his people and his mentor Ner'zhul to the demon lord Kil'jaeden for personal gain and power, and he was directly responsible for the orcs' fall to demonic enslavement and their subsequent invasion of Azeroth. Tutored by the leaders of the Burning Legion, he is considered one of the most powerful warlocks to have ever existed. He founded the Shadow Council and created the first Death Knights. He often refers to himself as Darkness Incarnate and the Destroyer of Dreams. So, in his early life, he was born in Gorgrond, crippled and weak. His condition made him a target for constant mockery and abuse, for which he hated his clan. While the others finally tried to beat him to death to be rid of him, the clan's shaman stopped them and told Gul'dan that he saw greatness in him, advising him to go to the throne of the elements to seek his destiny. He angrily rejected the shaman, and the chieftain banished Gul'dan from the village. The bitterness that had sustained him all his life ate at him until nothing was left. After months of starvation and wandering alone through the waste, Gul'dan began to consider the safety of a clan might be better than endless suffering. He finally heeded the old shaman's words, dragging himself to the throne of the elements, offered himself in service of whatever would end his anguish. The spirits of fire, earth, and water, and air, approached him, but sensing the darkness and fury within the orc's heart, violently recoiled from him. However, in the absence of the Furies, Kil'jaeden began to whisper to him. The demon lord offered Gul'dan power in return for becoming the harbinger of his fury. Did I fly past him? No. Almost. Kil'jaeden needed a public figure to unite the orcs against the Draenei, but Gul'dan could not inspire or lead his people by example. Kil'jaeden ordered him to ally with someone who could, but first he would need to eliminate everyone who knew of his past. Gul'dan returned to his village, draped in tattered robes. When his chieftain furiously reminded Gul'dan that he was never allowed to return to his people, Gul'dan roared that he had no people and obliterated the chieftain with fell energy. Gul'dan then went on a rampage, killing all his former brethren. As the village burned, Gul'dan spotted the village shaman, the only source of any relative kindness in his life. Gul'dan earnestly thanked the shaman, saying that he had found his destiny, then killed him as well. Claiming the shaman's staff and a ring, Gul'dan left the burning ruins of his birthplace behind forever. Its name and existence would be lost to history, just as the vengeful Gul'dan preferred. So, pause while we do this. We got the book. This book, I could use it to increase my power tenfold. No, it would end up corrupting my very soul, this I am sure of. Return to those who sent you here. You now have the means to stop Veridus. Wait until he manifests his demonic form through metamorphosis. At that point you will need to burn the book in his presence. That will be the only way you can deprive him of his power. Okay. So now we can finally go back to Shadowmoon and turn in these two quests. But back to Gul'dan. Careful to hide his fell powers, Gul'dan approached the Shadowmoon clan, whose shaman commanded respect from all orcs, perfect for Kil'jaeden's plan. He told them that his village had been destroyed by ogres and he was the only survivor. Orcs accepting newcomers into clans was uncommon, but the Shadowmoon took pity on Gul'dan and did just that. Gul'dan carefully observed the clan's shaman for one that would work and eventually settled on the chieftain Ner'zhul. He was dedicated, forthright, and persistent, but also held turmoil and sorrow because of the death of his mate Rukhan and the recent trouble with the elemental spirits. Gul'dan preyed on Ner'zhul's inner darkness. He told the chieftain of his own troubles, of the family and friends he had lost at the village, and in time befriended him and convinced him to take him on as an, unbeknownst to him, pretend shaman apprentice. Through Gul'dan, Kil'jaeden now had access to a public figure. As the demon began to manipulate Ner'zhul, he asked Gul'dan with making the orcs see the Draenei as enemies. He tasked Gul'dan. Gul'dan was present at the Koshar celebration in Nagrand. As Ner'zhul rallied the orcs for a war against the Draenei at the behest of powerful ancestor referred to as the Beautiful One, in truth Kil'jaeden in disguise, Gul'dan supported Ner'zhul fully. However, when Ner'zhul began to notice that they could no longer call upon the power of the elements or the ancestors, the shaman began to sense something was amiss. He discovered at Oshigan that he had been duped by Kil'jaeden and attempted to back out. To Ner'zhul's horror, he discovered that Gul'dan had seen everything at Oshigan and told Kil'jaeden of it all before Ner'zhul returned. As a necessity of his bid for power, Gul'dan trained a number of like-minded and powerful orcs, whom he named the Shadow Council. The council was soon using its power and influence to direct almost every aspect of orc society so as to distract those few who opposed his dark ideals from their true masters, Gul'dan and Kil'jaeden. He opened schools of demonology and necromancy to teach shamans new power, to replace their lost connections to the elements, transforming them into necrolytes and warlocks. To seal the bargain between him and Kil'jaeden, Gul'dan and the Shadow Council offered the clan chieftains the blood of Manaroth. The resulting horde was bloodthirsty, barbaric, and evil, an extension of the demons whom they now worshipped. While creating the Shadow Council, Gul'dan would encounter the ogre Cho'Gall, who had been forced to flee from Hymal after escaping assassination. He became intrigued by Cho'Gall's confidence and lust for power and made him his foremost apprentice, teaching him fell magic and of the existence of the Burning Legion. Another individual Gul'dan encountered was Garona. As half-orc, half-Draenei outcast, Garona had found survival to be brutally difficult. She had learned quickly how to avoid unwinnable fights and how to quietly kill relentless pursuers. Gul'dan bound her mind to his will and began to secretly train her in the art of assassination. She did not fully understand his intentions, but she grew to resent his cruelty. Still, she obeyed. Survival demanded nothing less. Gul'dan had her magically aged and tortured. Having also traveled through Draenor, Garona was well versed in the culture of the orcs. She quickly became the chief interpreter of the Shadow Council and Gul'dan's personal spy and assassin. Per Kil'jaeden's instructions, he also had the Blackrock orcs craft daggers, anguish and sorrow for Garona, which she used to carry out countless atrocities while under Gul'dan's control, including the eventual murder of King Lane during the First War. Point us down. As a test of the Horde's strength, Gul'dan and the Shadow Council guided the orcs into murdering every single Draenei they could find on the homeworld. The near extinction of the Draenei, a race as old as his master Kil'jaeden, proved that the orcs were ready for the next slaughter. He also sent Blackheart the Insider, whom he recruited after taking control of the Horde, and Vorpal with a group of orcs to plunder Auchindoun. Gul'dan also manipulated the election of Blackhand as the Horde's new war chief, as he was the perfect pawn for the Shadow Council. Though Blackhand was competent in battle and relatively sound tactician, he had a lust for power and thus was easy for Gul'dan to control.
One wishes to you.
You bring this abomination of a book to this holy site, you better have a very good explanation. We must dispose of this foul artifact, but not before we use it to dispose of Veritas' powers. We need to permanently shut down the ruins of Karaport training grounds, which means killing not only Veritas, but also the 3 Night Elf Masters that assist him, Alandian, Theras, and Netherel. Gather a suitable force and return to the ruins of Karaport. Follow Altruius's instructions for defeating Veritas. For all of our sakes, I hope they work.
I can't carry anymore.
Oh. Yep. Should clear inventory real quick.
I hope you find something useful.
Why are these not
Welcome.
coming through automatically? Okay.
May your days be long
Open your heart
and your
to
hardships few.
Alright, and then we'll go turn in this other one where we got all the medallions.
Greetings, friend.
From the elemental guys. 4 fragments of the medallion. Now to put them together. The fragments you obtained are only half of the medallion. The Ash-Tongue leader Akama must have kept the other half. I dread to ask this of you, as Akama is both evil and cunning. He and the Ash-Tongue Deathsworn, the vilest and most brutal of the tribe, are rumored to run a torture chamber inside the Warden's cage. I want you to find that dreaded prison and find the whereabouts of Akama. His second in command at the location is a broken known as Sonoru. Interrogate him if you have to.
May your days be long and your hardships few.
Okay. I feel like we made really good progress, but my lunch is now over. So, we will come back, and I swear to God, we're finishing this area tonight. It's gonna happen. Alright, so I will come back later today.